beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Zastara and I'm an angelic clairvoyant. And today's message is for the sacred masculine. I haven't done one for you for a while, and this is what popped into my head today. I've been doing a lot of work on my own masculine energy, and I've been feeling my twin a lot through the bond. So hopefully this is helpful to someone who may have come across this video and maybe in this space at the moment on the twin flame journey. You may not even know that you have a twin, but you might be wondering why this has popped up in your field. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. You've been manifesting your twin, and you may have manifested this conversation as well with me. This might be the sacred masculines who are beginning to awake during a period of separation from your divine feminine. It's quite common in the path of this twin flame journey to have a really good connection, and then suddenly it will split apart and you're going to separation. And at some point along that process, you might begin to awaken. Chances are, if you're here, you've been receiving some signs. You might have been receiving some synchronicities. Maybe you're thinking about your divine feminine constantly. Maybe her name keeps popping up. Maybe her name is not a usual name, and yet it keeps popping up. Maybe her energy, you can feel it sometimes and you're aware of it. Maybe you even miss it. Maybe sometimes you smell her smell and you don't know why or how or where that came from. And you might be seeing synchronicities that keep showing up in your daily life. Sometimes people have a lot of angel numbers popping up. You might see synchronicities like this, or certain books or stories or films or anything that's just maybe even songs that's reminding you of your twin and bringing her constantly into your awareness. So this is showing up in your daily life. It can get a bit much, just so you know, but deep down you feel that the connection with her is still alive, even though you are no longer talking, you are no longer in contact. And maybe there's a hesitation in part of you to truly accept and believe that this is happening. There's also a part of you, possibly, that wonders if you should reach out to your twin. But then there can be another part of you that's holding back, another part that's saying no. And sometimes that part can be coming from all different spaces, but sometimes it's coming from more of an ego space, and sometimes it's coming from an inner knowing that it's not the right time. So for many sacred masculines, there comes a kind of old operating system, one that says, don't chase, don't show weakness, keep your pride intact. And this is quite an old-fashioned way of looking at life, but it's there. It's a part of how the masculine has been shaped in a lot of our societies, to be a certain way, to put on a facade, to act in a certain structure and uphold that structure. And perhaps there even comes from past relationships, relationships where you may have felt, with a distorted feminine energy, that you perhaps felt suffocated or controlled or like you lost yourself. And so you've learned to protect your freedom by staying away from any kind of deep connection or intimacy, or really having it on your terms. Like, as long as you can stay in control of it, then it's not going to harm you, it's not going to take you over. And we have had a problem here where there's been a huge amount of divine masculines, sacred masculines who have been affected by spell work, who have been manipulated by karmic partners, and that has gone on a lot. And I have done a little video on spell work, but I think I will do one to concentrate on more of the stuff that has been thrown at the masculine. So you've probably had a hard run. You've probably been in situations where you felt like you couldn't get out of them, where your freedom was taken. And the twin flame journey is not about repeating those patterns, those old patterns. In fact, it's really bringing an end to those cycles. Hopefully, on your process, you have found the strength and the power and the courage to leave those relationships which have kept you trapped, which have kept you enmeshed in old patterns. And now it's about transcending them. And this is how the twin flame journey shows you how to transcend them. All you really need to do is tap into what your inner knowing is telling you. When you feel the desire to reach out to your divine feminine, it's not about chasing. I don't even like this word chasing. I mean, since when did telling someone how you feel about them, whether it's good or bad or unsure or just that you like them. Since when is this chasing? This is just kind of like a normal human experience. It doesn't mean you have to sign a paper and commit to them forever. Just saying that you like someone is actually part of the goodwill between humans sometimes. It's not also about losing yourself because the stronger sense of who you are will actually come forward in your twin flame journey. It will actually ignite parts of you that have been dormant and it will ignite your power as well. It's interesting how this affects the masculine, but often they can go through periods where they feel powerless or impotent on some levels, and coming back into connection with their twin flame actually begins to ignite that power and reconnect it for you. So you're eager to maybe connect with your twin again, but maybe your soul is whispering, come on, why don't you contact her? Why don't you get in contact with her? Don't you miss her? Like, wouldn't you like to be with her? And then your ego might step in and say, protect yourself. Don't risk it. Don't risk rejection. She's just going to reject me. Don't open up. Keep small. Keep tight. Keep in this comfort zone. But your heart is saying something different. And this is where tuning into the heart really will bring good things, because your heart knows that the connection is your natural state. It's your natural regulation in your being. And your heart knows that love is not a weakness, but a strength. And being with your twin, your divine feminine, will regulate your 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 nervous system. It will help you move through forward into a stronger sense of who you are. So if you are struggling with pride, maybe putting pride aside doesn't mean abandoning your power. It's not about that. It's really about stepping into a higher power, the sense of who you really are, without all of these weird distortions that you may have taken on as a way of feeling power, but isn't really. It's one that's rooted in authenticity, your authentic nature. Because when we look at this, it's like the ego often builds walls. It builds walls to feel safe and protected. And actually, the soul is about building bridges so that you don't feel isolated, you don't feel alone, you don't feel like you can't connect with people or you can't connect with yourself. When you honor your inner truth, you begin dissolving the fear of being controlled, rejected, or diminished. And you will find actually that if you have these conversations with your twin, you'd be amazed at how they understand, because they can feel it. They've gone through the similar things themselves. They're the same energy resonance as you. So their experiences and your experiences, you'd be amazed at how connected they are, how really they do understand. So your divine feminine is actually, I've done a lot of work with divine feminines, and I want to say here, they don't ask for you to be perfect. They really don't. Um, there's a lot of divine feminines who'll just accept you in any way that you are, just because you're their twin. And part of the divine feminine path is trying to remember those boundaries, trying to uphold those boundaries, and not just let the twin back in if they're behaving badly. But the divine feminine doesn't want to abandon you. It doesn't want you to abandon your freedom. So it doesn't. She doesn't want you to abandon yourself. What she desires really is for you to be present, like fully present with yourself and with her, and your willingness to show up with an open heart and in your authentic nature. That really is all that's needed. And when you move through any sort of ego layers of pride and fear, and you go through these ego deaths, and they can be quite big. Just letting you know, the divine feminine's going through them. I have definitely gone through lots of ego deaths. When I've looked at myself and I've kind of laughed at myself and thought, really, is that the kind of structure that I'm building in myself that's keeping me out the heart and what I really love and enjoy in life? So what's revealed when you go through these ego deaths is your true essence. And at the end of the day, a sacred masculine energy wants to be felt, wants to be loved, wants to be held deeply in a union space with their friends, family, community, with their divine feminine, maybe and also their children. It's about leading with authenticity and honoring a connection with people, including yourself, without losing who you are, and being really acknowledged for that and recognized for that true power in you. So if you're feeling the energy and the call and the nudge and to reach out to your twin, why don't you pause and ask yourself, am I acting from ego? Am I acting from the soul? If the answer is the soul, then trust it. And if you feel like you want to play games with your twin coming from ego, I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it because they are the same as you. And so, whatever, it's like playing chess with yourself. Like, whatever you come with them with a certain frequency, they're going to know. And it's not going to feel good. Like, it's going to create a distortion in your connection that you'll then have to clear up afterwards. So, if your answer is your soul and your soul calling and wanting to step forward, then just know that every small step, even a small, simple message, can be the beginning of great healing between you and your counterpart. Sacred masculines, awakening is not about denying your desire. Desire is one of the ways the masculine will really know that that's his twin as well. It's about honoring it, it's about listening to what your inner self truly wants. And that Kundalini rising, that real power that's pulsing through your body, is actually the truth of connecting with the magnetism of your twin. It's not pride or fear to keep that in place and want to somehow keep you caught up in something that is not, or keep you away from something which is actually going to do you good. So take a breath, maybe feel into your heart and allow yourself to be guided by your heart. That's where your power truly lives. And I have met sacred masculines who are going through a heart awakening, but they sometimes still are outside of their heart space. They can't actually feel their emotions, but usually they can feel their magnetic pull towards their twin. Usually they can feel the desire, which helps you to understand that tantric power towards your twin. So thank you for being here, sacred masculines. If this message resonated with you, then come and meet me for a soul session or a twin flame session. Allow your heart to be opened for your twin. Allow that union to happen because it might be the most important connection you'll ever have.